In this video, you're going to see me plant 1,100 bulbs. You heard that right, 1,100 bulbs all by myself, and that is divided up into my landscape beds, my containers, but mostly my raised garden beds. My name is Kate. If you're new here, welcome. If you've seen my videos before, welcome back. So glad to have you. I live in Maine, Garden Zone 5B, so we're pretty cold up here in Maine. And we plant bulbs in the fall so that they have a chance to overwinter and hopefully get a beautiful spring showing, hopefully again by Mother's Day. So I decided to bite the bullet and see just how many bulbs I could fit into my garden, as I'm hoping to sell some next spring. The 1,100 bulbs are mostly tulips. I have about 1,000 tulips, and the remainder are a mix of different daffodils as well as some Globemaster alliums thrown in the mix too. So it was a lot of work, but also a lot of fun, and I had to divide up the plantings over a few days after work and then also on weekends. I hope you enjoy this video and happy planting! I fit about 15 bulbs in here. I'm able to put them a little bit closer together because I'm planting them in a container and not in the landscape. So I went ahead and removed the soil that was in here just so I can sandwich them in, and then I'm gonna dump the soil that I put into here on top of there. So this one will be ready to go. And these are Aviron tulips. Late blooming, but they're a beautiful rose color. So, and once these containers are done, I'm gonna put them into the greenhouse that we're working on, so that way they are protected from the snow during winter. And this pot is a beautiful pot, handmade from Snug Harbor Farm in Maine. Really pretty. So I have one container pretty much done and a couple to go to prep and plant. It is a new day. The sun is finally out and shining, quite a bit different than yesterday where I was doing some bulb planting in the rain. It wasn't raining too hard, but it just was cold and rainy. So I'm here with Abby. You can't see her, but she's with me, and we are going to take advantage of this glorious afternoon after work. And I am ready for round 2 of planting my bulbs. I ordered 800 more tulips. So I'm waiting for that order to come. As I'm waiting, I will be planting about 100 more tulips today in my actual beds. I'll show you what I'm working with and what tools I'm using. If you are curious or interested, I'll link that below. Anyway, let's get to it. Let me just show you. So this is the whole that it created just in a few seconds. Here's my daff, and you can just drop them right on down and then cover them back up with soil and mulch. So I'm just gonna keep cranking away. So I'm gonna bundle up. As soon as the sun goes away, it gets really cold. Okay, because I think the sun is setting so quickly, what I'm actually gonna do, so I just planted all of the bulbs that I had dotted throughout the front, so my tulips and daffodils. I still have probably 50 more daffodils to go, so I still have more to put along this fence, and also I think I may put a few more in pots or sprinkle some out in the back behind the house. But for right now, what I'm gonna do is actually sprinkle on some plant tone. Just Espoma plant tone. Last year I used bulb tone, also from Espoma. Plant tone works just fine if you don't have bulb tone, like I don't have bulb tone. I'm only amending the bulb plantings in my landscape along the fence because the soil is pretty sandy and poor. When we were putting in the fence earlier this year, we noticed that there's a lot of, I don't want to say, basically fill soil. So it's very sandy. We found a lot of like tar and junk, just even a chain somehow in the mix. So it's not the best soil on the outside of the property. So I'm just gonna sprinkle in some amendment, the plant tone. Not necessary, but because the soil is poor along the fence, bulbs really need to have enough nutrients to flower the next year. The bulb itself stores a lot of nutrients, but if your soil is pretty poor, it doesn't add that extra boost that the bulb may need. In my beds where I'm planting bulbs, I'm not going to put in any additional amendment because it's already nutrient dense with compost, and I'm going to leaf mulch, and I think add in some blood meal, which helps just to promote the breakdown of organic material. So the beds I'm not worried about adding in any additional amendment, but along the fence line where I just put all the bulbs, I will. If you have any poor soil, it may be a good idea to sprinkle in an amendment just to help give it an additional boost like I'm doing. So inside I mean, ideally you want to sprinkle it in the hole before you put the bulb in. I didn't this year. It's gonna be fine. I'm just gonna sprinkle lightly on top. I'll show you what I'm doing. And then just cover them up and they're good to go. If they were in a container and rain wasn't really on the forecast, I would water them in just enough. Don't go heavy on it because you don't want the bulbs to rot. However, there's rain in the forecast in the next few days, so I'm not gonna worry about watering them in. So they're already in their little holes, which I'll show you. Sprinkle the amendment, close them up, and these guys will be good. And then I just have a few more. I have some Sir Winston Churchill daffodils to plant, and then also this one is called Flower Parade. These are all from Color Blends. Not sponsored. I wish. That would be fantastic. Probably also dangerous because I would go crazy. Crazier than I already do. Guys, I ordered an additional 800 tulips. So that means I'll be planting 1,100 bulbs pretty much this year. Each year it seems to double. The first year I did 200. Last year I did 500. And then this year I'm doing 1,100. But it is easier with the power planting drill. What would have taken me probably 4 hours already has taken me maybe 45 minutes to an hour total, and that's drilling all of those holes, and I'm going to sprinkle those amendments in, laying them out, so that's including all of that. So I highly recommend. Sometimes if you don't have the attachment screwed in well enough, I was struggling initially where if you come into some rocks in your soil like I do, it can sometimes disrupt the attachment, your drill attachment, that it can have it pop right out. Just be sure to keep tightening it. Sometimes that happens. That's just the way it goes, especially if you have rocky soil. I think probably even clay soil. We don't have that here, or I don't, but I would imagine that your drill may get stuck a few times. I just click over the reverse option on the drill, reverse it just a little bit so it loosens it up for me. Then I put it back in the other direction. Okay, pardon the mess in here, guys, but this is the power planter that I am using. The attachment, I just have it attached in the this 18-volt drill. I do have the battery out, so for safety. This would not be good if this went off and I accidentally hurt myself. But this is the power planter attachment. I will link that below if you're curious. It has been a game changer for me since I started using it last year. What you do is you just, let's see, this part right here on the drill, you can either loosen it or tighten it, and you'll see there's little teeth in there. So the way you turn this, I believe this is still righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I don't know if I said before, this is just a simple 18-volt hand drill, power drill. There is an attachment that we have on for a handle, which is very useful. So I think this is typically used for like mixing concrete. You would have a longer drill bit that you could just hold this steady and mix, but it comes in very handy with planting bulbs. So the way I was mentioning, yes, okay. So if you want to reverse, you move that over and that turns the drill, I believe, counterclockwise. And then to reverse back, this is clockwise. And then you put it in the middle to lock it in place. So there you have it. All right, there was my little drill demonstration. So my goal is to have all of my bulbs planted in the next few weeks. I'm still waiting on 800 to be delivered, but at least I'll have these 300 tucked in for now. So here we go. longer bed on the right, that one's already planted up and taken care of for the bulbs. All the other raised beds I am in the process of turning over and just adding in some compost, manure, and that giant Mongolian sunflower, mammoth sunflower, that is a little bit drooping. I want to wait, if I can, for it to dry out because I want to save some of those seeds. So I think I'll be planting some tulips around it. And that ladder we were using for the greenhouse, so that will be moved and cleaned up. And then hopefully I'll be doing my garden tour here soon, so that will be up probably after, actually before this video. So I think this is either day 5, day 6, day 4 of planting tulips. I came out, it was either yesterday, yeah, I think it was yesterday morning, and noticed that before I was able to lay down all of my chicken wire, which I just have in rolls that I've cut in the previous year to fit these beds. And I just lay these across to help prevent the critters to go in, and mainly the squirrels, eat my tulips. So I'm down one bulb. I'll just replant it, and then I gotta go and get the rest of my chicken wire to put on top. And that's just a good deterrent for squirrels or any type of little critters trying to get in your beds. That's actually why I have these things screwed into the sides of my beds. I know they're upside down, but just I had to do it that way, I think because of the height of where these screws are and where the bed is. So like down here. And sometimes I'll wrap around some chicken wire around them, the fencing, if I have seedlings or something growing and I don't want to put this fine little mesh, or it's not mesh, but fine grating on top. But it's great for tulips, and then I just take it off come spring, and I just leave this on pretty much all winter. So set it and forget it. So I'll put one more there, and then I have that bed to get to, and then these two, which I have to get these done this weekend. So it is a big project, but a lot of fun and good to get outside when it's still a little bit nice.